Odyssey camper here on a cold November rainy day. Thought I'd take advantage of the miserable weather to do a little maintenance on the Phase 1 Odyssey, which is over here, after a long trip out to the Badlands. You can see the Phase 2 Odyssey over here. It's just about ready to go out on a 7,500 mile trip. I'll be down in Florida, Texas, and then ending up out at the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous. So hopefully see some of you guys out there in Quartzsite. But while I'm doing the maintenance, it came to mind that there's a couple of tools I use that I think would be useful to anybody else who's doing this. And so I just wanted to give you a little review on those. I don't plan on doing a lot of product reviews on odysseycamper.com or here on the YouTube channel, because that's not really what the channel's about. That said, there are a couple of things I use that I think are indispensable in day-to-day travel. And the first one is this little eTrends LED bulb I found on Amazon. It's got a little hook on the back of it, so you can hang it up in your car or your tent. Runs on 3 AAA batteries, so rechargeable batteries. The bottom unscrews. On a charge, geez, I've had a set of batteries in there and I probably run the thing for 25 hours on low and it's still got plenty of juice left. On high mode, it's really too much in the van. I use it when I'm working on the car. In fact, you'll see earlier in the video where it's hanging under the hood, so it makes a good little work light, keeping your car. It's good for reading. Really, in my van, I'm able to set it on low and sometimes even put a hat over it, and that's plenty of light. It also has a flashing mode if you want to get someone's attention. Maybe you broke down the side of the road or you're hiking on a trail and you need to let someone know down at base camp where you are. Very handy, attracts attention. I think these things were like $10 for a pair of 2 on Amazon, but I'll put a link down in the bottom. There's a couple brands, I'm sure they're all the same. I use the eTrends brand, I've been very happy with it. Dropped the thing 100 times and it hasn't broken. So I suggest for the money, you grab a set of these things and have them in the vehicle. The second thing I want to talk about today is my DieHard 1150 portable power pack. Now, you can buy these at Sears or Kmart. You could probably get it on Amazon. If you can, I'll put a link at the bottom. I'll also put a link to where it is on Sears. I have to think it's going to be cheaper if you go to your local Sears or Kmart because of the shipping involved. But check out the Amazon price, check out the Sears price, see which one's better. They retail for about $140. That's a new price. Really, I bought this at a pawn shop. It's one of the things that you find often at a pawn shop, and I could speculate that it's probably because it's easy to steal. But steal out of the back of a car or a pickup truck or something. But they show up a lot. So I paid $60 for this. So what can you do with it? Well, the first thing you can do with it is you can run 110 appliances. So there's a built-in 300 watt inverter. You go down here and select AC inverter, turns these on, and I've actually run a Honeywell bud heater off of this for about a half an hour. The built-in battery is 22 amp hours. The nice thing about it is it's a sealed lead acid battery. It can't leak. With a lead acid battery, you can dump a lot of current at once, which is going to be important in a minute when we talk about some of the features. So you've got these AC inverter outlets. You've also got 12 volt accessory outlets. So cigarette lighter adapter if you got 12 volt accessories. Down here, you've got a USB control that can shut off the inverter separately. And I have 2 USB chargers. And they charge at, what does it say, 2.1 amps. So you can recharge an iPhone multiple times, an iPad, run USB accessories. So that's cool. You also have a built-in air compressor. And the neat thing about the air compressor when you turn it on, oops, sorry, I got to turn it on down here, is you can set the level you want. So that'll run all the way up to, I don't know, I've used it to inflate bicycle tires, so 60 pounds anyway. Most car tires are around 32. And then you just click the button and the air compressor starts. And it'll keep pumping until you get to the desired pressure, then it'll shut off. So there's none of this going back and forth with an air gauge. So it saves a lot of time, and it's nice because it has a battery pack. You don't need to run a cable to it, so you're not plugging it into your lighter, reeling up a cable after. You're not going over to your 110 outlet and having to run a cable for that. So that's really cool. It's a nice feature. And then there's a little battery check, so before you set out on a trip, you can make sure that it's charged all the way up to 100%. There's also a work light, and if you're on the side of the road inflating your tire, hopefully you never are, but it's got a little flasher to hopefully keep people from running into you. I have mixed feelings about that because I think flashing lights attract drunks, and that's why they run into people. But anyway, you've got light to work by there. It's also great for lighting up the van. So it performs a couple of functions. It's a tool to help you with maintenance issues on the side of the road, but it's also its own battery pack, 12-volt supply, USB charger. So it does a lot of things for the money. Flipping it around, this is where the little air hose stores, and that screws onto your tire. And it's long enough, it's like 18 inches long, so it's plenty long enough to cover most tires. And then you have these two giant jumper cables. I'll talk about those in a second. And in here is the battery compartment. That 22 amp hour battery can be replaced. So after it doesn't hold the charge after a few years, or gets a lot of use, you can swap out the battery. Very easy to do yourself. Slide on connectors. You can buy the replacement batteries, I know for a fact, on eBay or Amazon. I haven't had to do it yet, but if you just look up the Sears DieHard 1150 replacement battery, and you'll see them, they're about $60. And then to recharge the pack itself, you just plug it in here. So I always carry an extension cable with me. So if I'm at a campground that has power, I can run it into the van, or I can use it to recharge my battery pack. So, as I mentioned, the other thing it can do is jump start a vehicle. So let's say you're out in the middle of nowhere. I was out in the Badlands and had my battery gone dead. There is nobody around that would be able to help me. You'd be walking miles and miles to get back to somewhere where you could find somebody that could possibly rescue you. You may not have a cell phone signal, so it's nice to be able to self-rescue. This will jump start a vehicle. Just flip that over. Gives you the battery voltage that's coming out of those cables. It'll also show you the voltage of the car battery when you connect it. While it's in jump start position, well, I should say, first you connect it, and then flick it over to jump start, and then you can start a vehicle. And I'm going to show you how I did that. And basically, I'm going to disconnect the battery on my Odyssey minivan and start the vehicle without the battery connected to prove that this is able to do that job. I've used it multiple times to help people out. To start their vehicles. Somebody can't start their car in a parking lot, just jump out with this. Takes you 2 or 3 minutes, and you've sent some good karma out into the world, I guess. Okay, so let's try starting the van with it. Here you can see where I've disconnected the battery cable at the negative terminal, and there's the bare negative terminal. I've connected the positive of the jump pack onto the positive terminal. Negative is to ground, and it's in jump start mode. So what I want to show you is that these jump packs are capable of starting a car with a completely dead battery. Now I'm going to go ahead and get in the van and start it up. So there, you just witnessed it. You can indeed start a vehicle with one of these jump packs if the battery is completely dead. Now, I'll probably joke in the notes that it's better than a Yeti. I'll do that to kind of troll people and get them to look at the video. I don't think it's better than a Yeti Goal Zero. They're two different beasts. Really, this has an air compressor and it does some other things. The Yeti unit's a little more high-end. They both have their features. The Yeti has a higher capacity, I believe, the top-end Goal Zero, but it can't dump current as quickly. So, starting your car with it doesn't work as well as these lead-acid type batteries. Downside is, because it's a lead-acid battery, even though it's sealed and it can't leak acid anywhere, it weighs a ton. But there is a removable panel on the back, and you can replace that battery should it ever go bad. The batteries are about $50 on Amazon. So yeah, you can hear me stream when I pick that up. Thing probably weighs 20 pounds, but make sure you secure it in your vehicle because it'll be quite the projectile if it gets loose. But if you're looking to set up a solar panel and you're going to put an inverter in and a house battery and whatnot, but you're looking at it and you're going, geez, that's really expensive. try one of these battery packs. You're going to want to have one in your vehicle anyway, if just to be a good Samaritan, but try one. You might find that that's all you need. I believe the inverter is 300 watts, so that'll run some small things. Won't run any kind of heating appliance. That said, I did run my 250 watt Honeywell bud heater on it for about a half an hour, just to test it out and see what it would do, and it did run that without a problem. But you're going to want to have one of these in, and you may find that this is all you need. You may travel with it for a while and go, gee, well, I don't really need anything bigger. But if you do decide later on to upgrade, at least you'll have this for maintenance, so you can put it in a different vehicle. Well, I hope you found this useful, and check us out on odysseycamper.com. There's a lot more information there, all kinds of posts on travel, technical information, micro camping. Thanks for watching.